Assalamualaikum and good day. Today my group from group 2 will present about the question that we get for the past few weeks. Okay, this is my group members who execute all the tasks given including me. Before that, I'm 2200773, Diniafi bin Suleiman. Okay, this is what was released in this presentation. So the question that we get in this presentation is, in your opinion, what are the problems faced by police investigators in the investigation of cybercrime cases? So we'll cover the meaning of cybercrime, including types of the cybercrime that we'll present later. So issues which mean problem faced by the investigators. So discussion which cover the method used to eliminate the problems occurred, and the last is conclusion. So we go to the introduction. Okay, so cybercrime defines as illegal use of a digital computer, but technology alone is insufficient to distinguish between different types of criminal activity. So these activities exist prior to the ubiquity of the cyber prefix, and most cybercrime is directed at data about individuals, corporations, and governments. And the attacks do not target a physical body, but they target the personal or corporate virtual body, which is the collection of information attributes that define individuals and institutions on the internet. So which means their virtual identities are critical components of daily life in the digital age. So there are many types of cybercrime, but I just list six of it. So first is hacking, which means act committed by an intruder who gains unauthorized access to the computer system. So they attempt to modify the system so that they can perform tasks according to their whims, such as modifying software to performing tasks not intended by the creator, and so on. And great and occasionally unhealthy tendencies may drive a hacker to break into the system to steal financial data from a corporation and personal banking information. Second is virus dissemination. So virus dissemination are malicious computer programs that attach to or infect a system of files and have a proclivity to spread to other computers connected to a network. Then they can cause a problem with the computer's operation and affect the data stored either by altering it or deleting it entirely. And third is logic bomb, which defines as malicious piece of code which is purposely inserted into a software to accomplish a malicious task when triggered by a specific task. Logic bomb is not a virus, although it usually acts as similar manner. It is secretly inserted into the program where it hides until specified conditions are met. And malicious software such as worms and viruses often contain logic bomb which are triggered at a limited time. And this type of crime usually utilized by not responsible employees working in the IT sector. And fourth is phishing. So phishing is referred as a technique used by criminals to extract confidential information such as victims' username, password, and credit card numbers, and cloak as a legitimate enterprise. And phishing is normally carried out by email spoofing, and the victims will probably receive email containing links to appearing illegal websites. And the links in the email contains malware that will have installed itself on victim's computer and stolen private information. Fifth is identity theft and credit card fraud, which means the crime committed by someone who steals the identity of a user and pretends to be them to access resources such as bank account, credit cards, and other benefits in the victim's name. And the criminal may also use the victim's identity to commit other crimes. Actually, credit card fraud is identity theft in its easiest form, and the most common cause of credit card fraud is the victim's pre-approved card acquired into someone else's hand. And the last is software piracy, which refer to use someone else intellectual property illegally, means without their authorization, and also tell the alliance, and then further reducing the revenue developers deserve. So in the context of software piracy, it refers as an unauthorized use and dissemination of computer software that can reduce developers' capability to require enough revenue to continue application development. Okay, so we go to the issues, which mean we highlight the problem faced by the police investigators.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. I am 2200967 Nur Daya Ilmi binti Mama Azmi, and now I will continue about the issue 1, which is criminal is hiding their true identity on cybercrimes. First thing first, we need to know what is the meaning of identity theft, or also known as identity fraud. It is when a criminal gets essential pieces of personally identifiable information, or we call that as PII, such as social security or driver's license numbers, in order to impersonate someone else. The stolen data can be used to rack up a debt by applying for credit, buying goods and services in the victim's names, or providing the thief with bogus credentials. With access to person's social security number, anyone can acquire all of the paperwork pertaining to that person's citizenship. In other words, take their identity. Even stolen credit card data can be used to resemble a person's identity. So with this identity theft, they can use that to hiding their true identity with others' identity. There are a few cases that may use by the identity theft. For example, first, they steal digital information about individuals, which can be valuable in a variety of ways. For example, use credit card information to rack up massive bills, causing credit card companies to suffer significant losses, or they could sell the information to others who could use it in a similar way with them. Second, they may construct new identities for other criminals by using individuals' credit card names and numbers. To illustrate that, contact the issuing bank of a stolen credit card and request that the account's mailing address be changed. We can see that in our country, which is Malaysia, there is a lot of scammers use these ways to attract other person to use their identity. Third, the perpetrator may they obtain a passport or driver's license bearing his own photo but bearing the identity of the victim. The thief can be easily obtain a new social security card with a driver license, and then open bank accounts and accept loan using the victim's credit card and background. The original card holder may be completely ignorant of this until the debt has grown to the point that the bank approaches the account holder. The identity theft becomes obvious only afterwards approach the account holder. At least, there are two categories of identity theft. First, true name of identity theft. It refers to the exploitation of personally identifiable information (PII) to open a new account. It is to obtain blank checks. The burglar may open a new credit card account, and it is establish cellular phone service or open a new bank account. Second category is account takeover. When an imposter utilizes PII to acquire access to a person's existing account, this is known as an account takeover identity theft. Before the victim realizes there is an issue, the thief will usually change their mailing address on account and ramp up a debt. This is because online transactions are done without any personally connections. Identity thieves have found it is easier to use the information they have stolen.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shazrin bin Osman, 2200776. I will explain the problem that police face in investigation of cybercrime cases. The point is lack of technical knowledge. In technical knowledge, they need to have a priority system. This is due and the need for closed source hardware and software to manage and control cybercrime cases, which actually require use of such special instrument to recognize, gather, and sustain digital evidence. Further to that, investigators doesn't have the appropriate facilities or digital forensic components to conduct effective cybercrime investigation involving digital device. The next one is the increased reliance on ICT also make the investigator become lack on technical knowledge. As well, since users today will rely on ICT, this insufficient knowledge make network more threat of cyber on essential system. Even short service outage can create considerable deficit for e-commerce organization. Because of their reliance on ICTs, attack could destroy not only civil but also military intelligence. The current technical platform has several weaknesses, including operating system monoculture. This makes the enforcement can follow in a fast mode because of the technology that every day keeps improving and developing. The next one is how to overcome this problem. The investigator must be professionally trained through order to gain knowledge how to construct effective incident using technologies computer as a method and high-tech computer as aims. The investigator need to well trained in information gathering and investigation technique. But individuals may be unfamiliar with the cyber world. As a result, questionnaires about workforce training and expertise remain unresolved.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am 2200766 Muhammad Hazrul Fahmi bin Abdul Hakim and I am from Sector 64. Today I will talk about limited abilities of law enforcement agencies or officials. Law enforcement officials shall at all times fulfill the duty imposed upon them by law, by serving the community and by protecting all persons against illegal acts consistent with the high degree of responsibilities required by their professions. The term of law enforcement officials includes all officers of the law, whether appointed or elected, who exercise police powers, especially the powers of arrest or detention. In countries, police powers are exercised by military authorities, whether uniformed or not, or by state security force. The definitions of law enforcement official shall be regarded as including officers of such service. The second point is law enforcement officials may use force only when strictly necessary and to the extent required for the performance of their duty. These provisions emphasize that the use of force by law enforcement officials should be exceptional, while it implies the law enforcement officials may be authorized to use force as is reasonable necessary under the circumstance for the prevention of crime or in effecting or assisting in the lawful arrest of offenders or suspected offenders. No force going beyond that may be used. The use of firearms is considered an extreme measure. Every effort should be made to exclude the use of firearms, especially against children in general. Firearms should not be used except when a suspected offender offers armed resistance or otherwise jeopardizes the life of others, and less extreme measures are not sufficient to restrain or apprehend the suspect offender. In every instance in which a firearm is discharged, a report should be made promptly to the competent authorized. Matters of confidential nature is the possession of law enforcement officials shall be kept confidential, unless the performance of duty or the needs of justice strictly require otherwise. By the nature of their duties, law enforcement officials obtain information which may relate to private life or be potentially harmful to the interests and especially the reputation of others. Great care should be exercised in safeguarding and and using such information which should be disclosed only in the performance of duty or to serve the needs of justice. And in this, law enforcement officials shall ensure the full protections of the health of persons in their custody and in particular shall take immediate action to secure medical attention whenever required. Medical attention, which refers to services rendered by any medical personnel including certified medical practitioners and paramedics, shall be secure when needed or requested. And last but not least, law enforcement officials shall respect the law and the prison code. They shall also, to the best of their capability, prevent and rigorously oppose any violation of them. Law enforcement officials who have reason to believe that a violation of the prison code has occurred and is about to occur shall report the matter to their superior authorized and, where necessary, to other appropriate authorized or organs vested with reviewing or remedial power. This code shall be observed whenever it has been incorporated into national legislation of practice. If legislation or practice contains stricter provisions than those of the prison code, those stricter provisions shall be observed. That's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
And for the discussion, we state the how to counter the issues faced by the police investigators.
Hi, hello. My name is Ainul Harnani, 2200779. So today I will present about backtracking. What is backtracking? Okay, backtracking, also known as a traceback, is a process of tracking an illegal act back to its source, which is usually the perpetrator or the digital equipment used in cybercrime. We all know that cybercrime such as fraud, cyber gambling, spying, pornography, and information theft. So basically, this method is used when a cybercrime occurs or is detected, traces occur, analysis of log files such as event logs, which are the file system that correct activity, is used in preliminary investigation to reveal information about cybercrime. So other than that, information about cybercrime can be disclosed. For example, how the crime took place using event logs that logs automatically records events that occur in the computer to provide an audit trail that can be used to monitor, understand, and diagnose system activities and problems. So a criminal can be detected using various logs, for example, tracking criminal events log by programs and apps. Also, IP addresses used in a cybercrime may be found in the event logs. This traceback procedure may take a long time. This is because the length of time required to perform this procedure is determined by knowledge, skills, and talents of the providers, as well as the precautions used to disguise their identity and actions.
Today I will present about use ICANN's WHOIS query tool. First of all, we need to know about ICANN first. ICANN refers to the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Number. It's an international organized non-profit corporation that has responsibility for Internet protocol, address space allocation, protocol identifier assignment, generic and counter code, top-level domain name system management, and root server system management function. This service were originally performed under US government contract by the Internet Assigned Number Authority (IANA) and other entities. How does ICANN work? Within ICANN structure, government and international treaty organizations work in partnership with businesses, organizations, and skilled individuals involved in building and sustaining the global internet. Innovation and continuing growth of the internet bring forth new challenges for maintaining stability, working collectively. ICANN's participants address those issues that directly concerns ICANN mission of technical coordination, consistent with the principle of maximum self-regulation in the high-tech economy. ICANN is perhaps the foremost example of collaboration by the various constituents of the internet community. ICANN is governed by an international diverse board of directors overseeing the policy development process. ICANN's president directs an international staff working from 3 continents who ensure that ICANN meets its operational commitment to the internet community. ICANN designed to respond to the demand of rapidly changing technology and economies. The flexible, readily implemented policy development process originated in the 3 supporting organizations. Advisory committees from individual user organizations and technical communities work with the supporting organization to create appropriate and effective policies. Our active government closely advise the board of directors via the governmental advisor committee. WHOIS is a query and response protocol that is widely used for querying database that store the registered users or assigners of an internet resource, such as domain name, an IP address, block, or an autonomous system, but it also used for a wider range of other information. In addition to the WHOIS service offered by registrars and registries, ICANN organization provides a free and publicly available WHOIS lookup tool that can be used to find WHOIS data for any GTLD domain names. The tool search the database of registries and registrars and display the WHOIS data searched, including domain name, registrant, contact information. You can surf the internet by tapping ICANN lookup. All the keywords and questions will reveal all the information related to it. Thank you. In conclusion, there are many new problems faced by the investigators to investigate the cybercrimes occur to counter all the unethical acts executed by criminal or not responsible person. And additionally, since every state has a different legislation stand on cybercrime, so these problems will always occur no matter what the world doing, because the users of this crime are many than the authorities who prevent this crime. Okay, thank you, sir. That's all from us, from group 2.